strong in faith.
Faith can move mountains. Radio Maria, 91.3 FM.
The voice of truth.
Hello, good evening. Once again, it's Child Protection on 91.3 FM Radio Maria. We're looking at the activities that will keep our children safe during this summer holiday. Or we may say we don't have summer this way, so during the long holiday. We have seen quite a number of reasons why they should be properly engaged, why they should be kept busy, and why we should monitor whatever they're doing. Preferably, we would say one of the parents or one of the caregivers should even take some weeks off to be sure that they're stable and stabilized with these activities before you go back to work. It's worth the trouble. Thank you once again, you great parents out there, for the wonderful sacrifices, the big brothers and sisters, the caregivers, the church, the mosques, the different activities you have put together to ensure that our children are gainfully engaged and kept safe. On child protection, if you're tuning in for the first time, it's Madam Momoh, Mary Angela, the child advocate, talking about the need for us to do what? Protect the right of our children. Let them know their rights. Ensure that they are safe. The environment is safe. The environment is motivating enough that the children themselves are protected from all manners of abuses. Of course, we know the abuses. For those who've never tuned into this program before, we're talking about child abuse, we're looking at emotional abuse, we're looking at sexual abuse, we are looking at physical abuse, we are looking at child neglect in terms of education, in terms of health, in terms of well-being, all of those. We're looking at medical abuse, substance abuse. All of these are the different forms of abuses the children face from time to time, even within their own family, outside the family, around the church, around the as places of worship, around the school, in the neighborhood. So we must all be up and about when it comes to child protection. But there are some group of children who have already been abused, who have already suffered from these things we're saying we should guard against for the children. Do we tag them? No. Do we stigmatize them? Give them names? Hide them when guests are coming? Hush them? No. Do we begin to play, the music of whatever mishap, whatever thing has happened to them before? Not at all. We should rather show more love, bring them in, seek solution to all of those to ensure that such situations will not occur again, as well as encourage the children to know that it's not over. All that has happened before definitely is now past, and a new beginning is possible. Yet they can achieve and still be what they are meant to be. The talents in them will still go getting, making sure that they become those great children that God has already, established them to be. We're looking at child protection. Today, we're going to continue with the activities. It is very important because some of the caregivers, some parents may think they have exhausted, all the different tactics and the different ideas they would have for activities for these children. We're going to come back right away. Just hang on there, don't go away. Thank you. Welcome back to 91.3 FM Radio Maria. Once again, if you're just tuning in, it's Child Protection with Madam Momoh, the child advocate. We're saying today we will continue with the planning of activities of the holiday program to ensure that our children are kept busy, happy, and safe. It's holiday time. We're not going to bog them down with too much reading, too much academic work, too much exercises. but we're going to ensure that they still stay connected to their studies, because we know that if you leave your book for a while, it leaves you for a very long while. So as they get on with the fun or the holiday, as they keep, their eyes on playing and all those things they had missed before while they were seriously going to school during the session, they will also have to keep in touch with their studies. The past 2 episodes, we've talked about planning, keeping them safe, and we tried to take them along on the possible way to plan their activities. But the truth now is, I really don't know how many of you bothered to look into whatever they have written or planned, because that's the assignment, or that's the task I gave to parents and caregivers. Now we're looking at those activities, apportioning time to them. We said you have to apportion time, otherwise it will be chaotic. They could just go on with one or two that they love. So you must make sure that there's a balance. Whether they enjoy it more than the other is not what matters to us here. What is important to us is that they are able to get involved in a handful of them. They need to alternate. They need to probably do 1, 2, 3 fun, one study, move on to another one, another study. But I'm going to talk to our children right away now, because I'm sure parents, you already know what to do to make sure that their activity schedule is balanced. Hello children, welcome again to Child Protection. We looked at your possible activities, starting from the ones that are a bit difficult down to the places where you had problems, could not really overcome, and now you need some kind of supplementary teaching, remedial studies. You need some help from your teacher or from your parents or from your elder or bigger brothers and sisters back there in the house. So we have moved from that into the different courses, the different subjects. We did the arts, the sciences, social sciences, we did all of that. And then we said math and English, we must always make sure that we practice as regularly as possible, because it is very compulsory. Whether you are in the arts or in the sciences now, math and English are compulsory for you to move on to the next level, be it JS3 to SS1, be it from SS3 to university or tertiary institution. And for those of you that repeated, or rather that will repeat the session where we've already talked about what it takes and what you should do, be disposed to it, be ready to face it. Life, of course, is not always, a platter of gold, and even if it were, you must go through it like roses have thorns. So once in a while, there are those little things that will twist you a bit, just because you need to come out better and more beautiful. So we know now that we're going to walk into our classes and be ready to bring ourselves down to say, and that's to own up to why we are repeating. What did we not do right? What did we do right? What did we not do enough of? Where did we lose focus and all of that? And if it were just a situation that came up maybe as a result of health and all that, never mind. Most of the time you stoop to conquer, and some of these experiences make us stronger and better for life and for the future. So having done that, today we want to tell us something that we must remember. Whether you were given literature books to read or the normal school assignment, most schools now know that readers are leaders, and we want to catch you as early as possible. Want to catch you as young as possible. That definitely you will have studies, you will have your very technical courses, but you are also going to look at reading other books. Your lexis and structure is important, your diction is important, having the right vocabulary, having, knowing how to do summaries and all of that. They are very, very important. So if you will now decide to say, I want to be good, but in being good, expression is important, communication is important. What do you do then? You're going to do something very, very important. You're going to be reading novels, you're going to be reading books, you're going to be reading articles. So as you're reading, you're getting richer, you're knowing better, and at the end of the day, you are a strong leader, because you've had, people talk about their culture in books. People talk about situations that may not be immediately around your own environment in books, so you have to read. And we're looking at novels now, looking at different types. There are detectives, there are adventure, we have all those ones on science, they have the one on arts. And you too can do something, which I'm asking that we do this holiday. What about creating a movie? I want to give us a task this holiday. We're going to look at the environment. What are the kind of stories we can write to become environment-friendly children? Our environment has been so abused, so bastardized, so neglected. The ozone layer we hear is affected. The weather comes very cold or very hot. In short, I was joking with somebody recently. I said we need to rewrite our geography books, textbooks, because the different months of the year are portioned to the different weathers. In Nigeria, we're talking about the climates now, rainy season, dry season, harmattan. They no longer follow. From this time to time, this time to this time, they say you should be having the dry season and all that. But because of the different abuse, the different, interference with the atmosphere, we have a lot going the contrary. So can we do something? Can we do some projects on the environment? Can we write little drama skits, little short plays on why we should keep the environment clean? Right from inside the house. How many of you litter? How many of you dispose of your wastes properly? You just finished taking sweets. Where's the wrap? If there's no dustbin immediately around you, you pocket your rubbish. That's the slogan, the balance. You put it into your bag or into your pocket until you get to a place where you can dispose of it properly. What do you do after eating? Do you empty everything into the sink and the sink gets blocked? Or you make sure that you pack it out, wrapped properly, and put in the dustbin? How do you handle your wastes? For those of you who don't have, houses with sinks and all of that, where do you pour the water you use after washing plates, crumbs and bits of, maybe food, meat, rice, whatever? Where do you pour them? Do you carry them to the space you have there, what they call it, the gutters, and you pour straight into those drainages or those drains or those parts or whatever thing has been dug to ensure or channel water somewhere, and then you begin to get blockades, and before you know it, water of course must find its level, flooding takes place. Or you are careful enough to pour that water through a sieve or a strainer, and then you empty that into the dustbin. We must be environmental friendly, because the environment is very generous, which is what you give to the environment will give to you. And no matter how long it takes, it's going to come. Cellophane. We've been told, by environmentalists that cellophane does not decay on time. It takes a long time. According to them, some can take 5 years, some can take 10 years, some may never even decay. So they are there So how do you pour, what do you do, how do you dispose of the sachet you use for your water, the one you call pure water? Where do you keep it? What do you do with it? The cellophane you use for rice, maybe when mommy comes back from the market, they have sold maybe 1 mudu of rice to her, or she bought a mudu of beans. Where do you put the cellophane when you take the last portion? We need to know. So you must begin to tell yourself, I want to be, volunteer. I want to volunteer to talk about environmental protection as a child. We're going to come up with something. In our club, I have promised you that we'll set up a kids club where we'll talk about some of these things and look at how we'll come out, corporately and collectively on some of these issues that are bothering us as children. You would ask, am I a child? I'm a grandma. Yes, but I am also somebody's child. Never mind. So what we'll look at now is, can we write short plays, short drama, and show to mom and dad? We could take littering. Stop littering. You can give it, save our environment, or be kind to Mother Nature, whatever caption you want to come up with. And then I'll leave an email so you can send those short stories, and we look at it and agree on what we'll be doing. Are we going to give prizes? Are we going to read out the names of the winners? What are we going to do with those short plays, short stories we're writing to save the environment? I'm sure you'll be participating in that. Then we also have reading goes also side by side with some art. You know how to paint? As you're telling your story, you just sketch something there to represent, or a visual representation of what you're trying to say. At times, most of these pictures, most of these drawings tell, volumes. Do you know how to sketch? Do you know how to paint? Do you know how to shade? And so on. We can represent that too. And where is that taking us? We will hear about it later, where our paintings could take us, right? When we set up the kids club, we'll look at it. Then we also have recipes. Even if you don't get into the kitchen because it's not safe yet for you, you should be able to know mommy's baking cake. Like last weekend, I was with my godson's family, and behold, we baked. Guess what we baked? Cake. Vanilla cake. Everybody was busy, everybody was happy. And before we finished our stay and meeting, the cake was ready. And we enjoyed ourselves. You know when they say something is hot cake, why is it hot cake? It makes it more delicious. The aroma is beautiful. The taste comes out better, and all of that. And behold, just within 30 minutes, we had finished with everything, and it was already in the oven baking while we were doing other things, looking at other items on our program. So, recipes, fruit cakes, cookies, other things. We could look at, somebody can typically tell a child how to do abacha. I know they call it abacha. This one that comes out from cassava. You boil the cassava, you slice it, soak it in water, and for some, I think one day, don't mind, I really don't have a perfect recipe there, but I'm giving you an idea of the kind of things you can learn from mom and dad. And then you move on to how do you prepare? Mommy, tell me how to prepare stew. That does not necessarily mean that you will start preparing stew, but you will have the recipe. Then you will watch mom prepare. You will watch dad do the barbecue. How how can one, what is barbecue in the first place, and how can you carry out one effectively? Because most of the time the barbecue is, for the men majorly, but these days we know that we are human beings, so we don't push anyone to a man or to a woman. We are good enough to know how to prepare food because we all eat. If you don't eat, let me know. You send me a text message that you don't eat. So you learn from dad the barbecue. You learn from dad. Maybe daddy is a great omelette maker. He knows how to make omelette. He knows how to make pancake. Learn it. And then you're learning and you're watching. These are things you can do. You snack on them and even make them meals. It's also possible depending on how much time you have. What about games? The board games. What about all that? What about talking about the puzzle? What's you have your chess. Learning how to be strategic. Learning how to make the right moves. And then you come on to the games right on the field, sports and all that. These days, people are making money. Graduates, they are, but begin to win and get scholarships because they are sportsmen and women, and they do it good. You have the table tennis, you have the lawn tennis, you have the volleyball, you have the basketball, you have the football itself, and all that. We must look at them, but remember, there's a schedule, a timetable to follow. Skill acquisition. You want to learn how to be a young entrepreneur. How do you handle that? You must know how to. Hey, there's something like bookkeeping. There's something like accounting. There's something like stock taking. There's something like planning. You can't go into any business without a plan. Okay, I want to learn in this house because we take a lot of this or that. Mommy, buy me a packet of this particular item. You'll be buying from me in this house. I'll be saving the money. I'll go and buy. I will get the one I will eat will be from my profit. Yeah, and then you start recording. I sold 2 packets of biscuits today, and I have 10 left. The 2 packets, I bought the full packet of 12 for 1,000 naira, and I'm selling one for 100 naira. So 12 will give me 1,002. I would have made a profit of 200. If I subtract the transport fare mommy spent, maybe I'll be making a profit of 100. That 100 is what I will take for myself and all that. So your capital remains and does not go down. And before you know it, you are beginning to know how to take stock. You're learning how to do weaving, how to weave the hair, how to knit, how to crochet. They are all great. You can do it at home, everybody benefits. But later, you begin to make some money from it when you get to the university. What about computer? How computer literate are you? You know how to do MS Word, Excel, coding, programs, automation, animation? Do you know how to do them all? Go ahead and learn something. You learn something. Can you clean the car properly? You know how to clean a glass and you will not have all of those fumes, oily look, cloudy look on the glass, the screen of the car? What about keeping your room neat? Making your bed, those of you in the boarding house or in boarding schools, you know that when you finish making your bed, the mattress edge is showing as if you have ironed your bed sheet before you put the cover, and then your duvet is there, rather, before you now put the cover and you come out. When you come back from school, your bed is peacefully waiting to welcome you. Can you make your beds? Can you lay your beds very well? Those of you in primary 5 and primary 6 getting ready to go to the boarding school right now, how do you keep your things? House chores. Your shoes, where do you drop them? Your socks, where do you keep them? Do you help mommy tidy up the house? Even when there's a house help, you should be able to do something yourself. Your rooms. What do you do with your rooms? What do you do with your books? The books you are done with. Maybe in your family you are the youngest and no other person is coming, and the library is there full. They can be given out to charity. There are orphanages. There are schools also that have cause for you to recycle the books, because some parents may not be able to afford all the books the children need. Be your brother's keeper, remember? You must. One good turn deserves another. You have to help. That makes the world beautiful. No man is an island. What about even being nice at home, smiling at your siblings, not being quarrelsome, cantankerous, every little thing is a fight, you are jumping up and down, using very foul language. I will break your head. I will kill you. After this program, it will never be found around our children using all those violent, very, very negative words. No way. Beautiful children of God, you must show the love you have, even in your language, even in your approach, even in the way you talk to your brother, sister, despite the fact that you are being hurt, that, knowing very well that the person has caused you pain. You still be patient to wait for mom and dad to come back, and then you lay the report. You don't take the law into your hand to say, I will mete out justice. I will, in short, an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. You didn't read it from the Bible. You have to be what? Be careful. You must learn self-discipline, self-control. They say everybody, even the dogs and all that are animals. Human beings are political animals, and then the ones we have domestic animals, then we have the wild ones in the bush. Agreed, but we are different because we can reason. We know when to do the right thing. We don't want to talk about human beings who have decided to behave below the level of animals and are abusing children. We don't want to talk about those ones because they already know, they've had quite a handful of information that the law now is not smiling at them at all. 14 years or life imprisonment, depending on the state you're from and what the Child Rights Act is saying about such people. So we also talk about making sure that we look around and try to use our initiatives. It's not all the time we wait for mom and dad to say, do this, do that, because mommy has told me that today I'm the one in charge of sweeping the sitting room. I sweep and dust. Therefore, whatever is happening in the kitchen is not my business. Or whatever is happening in the bedroom, taking care of the bedroom, if my brother is not doing it fast enough or is not doing it right, I cannot teach him or teach her because I feel it's not my duty. I've done my own part. Me, I finished my own part. I'm going to play. Help your brothers, help your sisters. Some other day too, it might be their turn to finish early. They also come and join you. Family connectivity, talking about interdependence, talking about, linking up and helping one another. Your friends, make sure that you're always giving a helping hand, only when it's safe anyway, remember, when it's safe, because we must stay safe, we must stay protected. We're going to be getting back because I know it's time for us to begin to hear from all of you out there, whatever contributions you have. Please don't go away. Welcome back to Child Protection 91.3 FM Radio Maria, the voice of truth. Now we're going to be telling ourselves some truth. You've been listening out there, great listeners, and I know that you have a lot to say. But how do you reach us? You can reach us on 081 084 47518. take it again on 081 084 475 18. Call us, send SMS to us, send us WhatsApp messages. Now, we're still there talking about activities for our children to keep them gainfully engaged, happy, keep them safe and protected this holiday. They have all become members of... Hello, there's a call coming in there. We missed that call. Okay, so we're talking about helping our children stay safe at the same time, having fun. We're not going to say, oh, because of those predators, because of the abusive tendencies in some people, the children are going to now be locked up and then everybody's shivering. No. We're going to give them the fun they deserve, the studies, all the different forms of help they need to enjoy their holiday, because they have worked very, very hard. And the ones that have not worked hard enough or did not work hard enough have agreed and made resolutions that they're going to be a lot more focused and more hardworking come the next session. So if we have taken all of that and we're saying we want to be leaders, then we're going to be looking out for our choice of novels, books with mom and dad, or with our big auntie, brother, whoever is supervising us. Then we will also talk about the skits, the drama piece we want to write, the little story we have to tell about how to keep the environment safe or clean, how not to litter, and all those habits we need to ensure that our environment is, in top condition. We'll be sharing it. We'll talk about it with our friends, with our family members, and then we write. And I said I'm going to send a number. But with the number I just called out now, you can send to. But the email is, you have your biro and paper there, as I always advise you to do, society for abused minors at gmail.com. Society, SOCIETY, society for FOR, abused, 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 minors, MINORS, at gmail.com. You're going to be sending your stories to society for abused minors at gmail.com, or your drama, whatever way you're painting, you've decided to use art, you've decided to use story, you've decided to use a dialogue, you decided to use a drama to talk about the environment, being environment friendly, being a volunteer to ensure that you're going to help your younger ones to say, no, we are not littering, daddy is driving and somebody rolls down the glass and throws something out, especially now that we have fresh corn, beautiful. We finish eating the corn and the cob is through the window. No? Our volunteer in the vehicle, in the car, will say, you don't litter. The environment is your friend. You are the friend also to the environment. If you're unfriendly to the environment is also going to give it back to us, remember? All those things will block our waterways, and then we talk about flood. The level of water is rising because it cannot go through properly, and then begins to spill out, the banks and whatever. We have problems. Rooms are flooded, homes are flooded, people are sleeping, and they find themselves in pools of water and all of that. It could be very depressing. So we're going to make sure that we write and talk about it. What can we do to help our environment? We're going to be doing our own bits. What about our recipe? Are we going to be learning how to make pancake? Are we going to be learning how to make abacha? Are we going to be learning how to make kuli kuli? Are we going to be learning how to make, those beautiful snacks you like? Yogurt. What do we want to learn how to make? Fruit salad. We just learn something. Baking cake. We have different types of cake. Even akara. Do we know how to fry the bean cake? We have the soya bean. We also have what you do with the tiger nuts, mixture of different types of nuts, and strain out, and you have a beautiful juice, milky juice, beautiful, refreshing and healthy. What about if we now look at sports? Sports, because you have to stay healthy. Exercises, you want to go playing football within your safe environment. Be safe, and you must get the permission of mom and dad, and you must play with care. You don't play, and by the time they come back, there's a fractured foot, or somebody has fallen and the head is in, heaven knows, we will not talk about blood or anything very bad here. So you must be careful that you play safe. You don't play and get more problems for the family. You have a volleyball pitch in your house, in your environment. Are you going to be telling us about skills? We talked about computer. We talked about the different things you'll be doing on the computer. Do you know how to code? Do you know how to handle Excel? Do you know what to do with, name it, animation and all of that? Something very good. Can you even open the computer in the first place and put it in a situation, a working atmosphere? Know how to switch it on and switch it off, shut down and all of that? What about your assignment, the school assignment you were giving? You were given some school assignments to read this novel, to do this assignment, to read this topic and all that. Where's the syllabus? Are you looking at the syllabus in line with how much topics or how much concepts you have already taken in, and the ones that are yet to be covered, and the ones that are difficult that you need to conquer? What are we doing with something interesting? I remembered how much pained I was during one of the holidays. My father took me to the, in Africa, they don't talk about half sisters, but of course, she was my father's half sister, but the eldest. So her name, we called her Mama Veronica. Mama visited us, and my father was telling us that this weekend, I'm taking you to Mama's house to learn how to fry gari. It was like disaster. Fry gari. We have seen them. They set the fire, they put the frying pan, and then the kind of flame that is coming out, they keep regulating. They pull out, they push in to increase the flame, to reduce the flame, and then all of the process of having to peel the cassava, take it to the mill, they mill it or grind, and then they bring it back and tie it to dry up to some particular consistency, and then they start to fry. We were sad. We almost regretted that Mama came to the house that weekend. Of course, my father meant it, and my mother supported it. Behold, were put in the car. Everybody to Mama's house. We got there, a heap of cassava. We started learning how to peel. The ones that were getting caught, the ones that were angry, the ones that were cutting and wasting the peel and all of that. But did we now eventually learn? Of course, as I speak with you, I can fry gari. I can fry gari. Then the next week was to learn how to ferment it and come out with fufu. The Igbos call it akpu. The slang here is santana. You will peel it, you wash it, then you cut it into bits and put in a container, a butter or plastic, and cover it, according to them, to aid the little heat that it will be getting will aid, the fermenting process. Then it ferments. Every day you change the water, you put another water to fill up the cassava. It must be filled to the brim, and the cassava must be submerged, must be inside. Then it was time to sieve. We hated that one. The smell was something else to us, but according to them, that one was not smelling because they had to drop a little lime or something somewhere. Oh my goodness. Behold, we could, at the end of the day, we enjoyed what came out of our visit to Mama. So today, I know how to fry gari, even if I don't fry. I know how to make the fufu, even if I'm not making it. But should anything warrant my making it, like I'm already teaching you how to make it, of course I can. And can I also do all of those sophisticated ones you say that is the real one? Which one is not sophisticated? Your African diet is wonderful. You know how much people are making. Go and buy one plate of gari and soup abroad. You'll be hearing $50, $100, $70-something, $20-something to just get maybe a scoop of spoon and one tiny ball of eba that you may need to buy like 3 or 4 before you can get filled. So you find out that they are all very useful. They are useful. So I believe that we're going to be doing all of these this holiday. Our calls are not coming in. I'm sure network is not it. We tried to get a few here and both could not really come through. But you still remember that you can send us SMS and you can send WhatsApp messages, send us your views, as well as whatever contribution or questions you have. They will all be attended to. Okay, there's a call there. Hello?
No. Hello?
Hello, good evening. Thanks for calling in.
Hello?
What's your name? Hello?
Hello, my name is Ike.
Okay, Ike, please, where are you calling from?
Okay, I'm calling from Uye.
How's Wuye, or you're on your way home?
Yeah, I'm in Uye.
Okay. So let's hear your view or contribution.
Actually, I just want to say that I'm enjoying the program. It's actually loaded.
Thank you so much.
It's very okay, and very interesting.
Thanks a lot.
So I want to know the venue where the program will be held.
Okay. We'll talk about the venue. It's not fine-tuned yet. That's why I haven't come up with that. But the assignment they have for now is that they will send to the email the writing on environment and being environment friendly, or the painting, or whatever drama, dialogue, any form they want to use to represent, to tell us why the environment should be kept safe and why we shouldn't litter or pour our wastes on the road, on the main road, depending on where the child lives.
Okay.
Yes. We'll keep you posted on that. Just please check with us again, maybe like next week or in 2 weeks' time. But if we don't get it this summer, we will get it by the next holiday.
Okay. Yeah. I'd like to bring my children.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Keep it up.
Welcome. Thank you so much for encouraging us. So, as we're rounding up right now, we believe that you have heard, and you're going to be, making it very easy for mom and dad, because now they are going to be very busy trying to put your school fees together, trying to put many things. Before they could make do with this, be a loaf of bread for breakfast. But now everybody is back home. They'll be doing like 4, 5 loaves, 3 loaves, 2 loaves. That's expensive. So they need to do all of this at the same time, save money for what? The school fees, save money for your books, save money for running the home, for doing the school run, for paying the house help, for taking all of those expenses. So let's not give them any headache at all. Let's make sure that this holiday is super fun, and at the same time we're staying safe and good. I know you're going to do that for me, great children. You remain the blessings that God, has already made you to be, and we will keep being proud of you. Great Nigerian children, we know that you are always shining light in light. Love you all so much. Bye-bye. Thank you.